Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about multiplying polynomials with monomials. Okay, so you can think of a monomial as just a polynomial with one term. Okay, so in this first example here we have 2x squared is just one term by itself. And then we have 9x to the fourth minus 6. We have two terms, so we could think of that as a polynomial. Okay, so we're going to go through how we would multiply these two together. So in order to do this, we're going to use something called the distributive property. And we've seen this before. We've done this with other examples. But to solve this, we're going to start by multiplying 2x squared times 9x to the fourth and then times negative 6. Okay? So we're going to distribute the 2x squared to each of these terms individually. So we can write this as 2x squared times 9x to the fourth, and then we'll have minus 2x squared times 6. Okay, or you could think of this as plus 2x squared times negative 6. Either way is fine. But I'm going to write it as minus. So we have 2x squared times 9x to the fourth minus 2x squared times 6. And then we're going to perform the multiplication on each of these. So for this first one, we have 2 and 9 we can go ahead and combine together. That's going to give us 18, so 2 times 9 is 18. And x squared times x to the fourth, remember by the product rule, we get x to the 2 plus 4. And then we're going to have, on the right term here, we'll have 2 times 6. That's going to give us 12. And then we just have the x squared by itself, so we'll have x squared. So simplifying this, we get 18x to the 6th minus 12x squared. And that would be your final answer. Okay, let's look at this next example. Here we have 10b to the 7th times 3b plus 9b to the 3rd plus 3. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to distribute this 10b to the 7th. We're going to distribute this to the 3b, then to the 9b to the 3rd, and then to the 3. So this is going to give us 10b to the 7th times 3b plus 10b to the 7th times 9b to the 3rd plus 10b to the 7th times 3. Okay, so this first term here, we have 10b to the 7th times 3b. The 10 and the 3, that's going to give us 30. And then b to the 7th times b, that's b to the 7 plus 1, because we could think of this as having an implied 1 here. Okay. So then we have, for our next term here, we have 10b to the 7th times 9b to the 3rd. 10 times 9 is 90. And then b to the 7th plus b to the 3rd gives us b to the 7 plus 3 by the power rule. And then for this last term, we have 10b to the 3rd times 3. So 10 times 3 is, again, 30. And then b to the 3rd is, or b to the 7th is going to be just by itself. Okay? So we have 30b to the 8 plus 90b to the 10th plus 30b to the 7th. Okay? So that's what that's going to look like. Okay, what about if you have a negative term out front here? Well, nothing really changes. You just have to consider the fact that you're multiplying by a negative now. Okay, so we're going to take this whole term here and we're going to distribute it just like we did in the previous examples. So we'll start with negative 8x to the fourth times 5x to the 3rd, all right, plus negative 8x to the 4th times 8x squared minus negative 8x to the 4th times 7. Okay, or you could think of this as having plus negative 8x to the 4th times negative 7, since you have this minus 7 here. But either way is fine. As long as you only have the one negative from here. You don't want to make them both negative, otherwise that would change the meaning. But all right, so let's go ahead and multiply each of these out. So if we look at just our constant terms here, we have negative 8, or just our numerical coefficients here. We have negative 8 and 5. That's going to give us negative 40. And then x to the 4th, x to the 3rd is going to give us x to the 4 plus 3 by the power rule. Okay, and then we have, for our next term here, we have negative 8 and 8. That's going to give us negative 64. Okay. And then we have x to the 4th and x squared. So that's going to give us x to the 4 plus 2. Okay, and then we have minus, here we have negative 8 and 7. That's going to give us negative 56. And then we have x to the 4th. Okay, so our answer is going to be negative 40x to the 7th. Okay, and then we're adding a negative 64x to the 6th. So that's minus 64x to the 6th. And then here, we're subtracting a negative answer, or a negative number. So we're going to add 56x to the 4th. And again, that's because anytime you subtract a negative number, it's the same thing as adding that number. So our final answer would be negative 40x to the 7th minus 64x to the 6th plus 56x to the 4th.